What would happen if your favorite heroes were turned into cannibalistic monsters? Hey guys, continuing with Disturbing October, I bring you another highly requested show, Marvel Zombies. I hope you enjoy it. This story begins in the devastated city of New York. Kate Bishop, Riri Williams, and Kamala Khan, along with Friday, are searching for food or useful survival gear. Suddenly, they see a Quinjet fall from the sky. The young women rush to check it, but inside they only find a lifeless pilot who seemed to have swallowed a metallic device. It must have been important. Oh, whoa, he's alive! But someone else heard the ship crash, and it's Hawkeye, who is now a zombie, and he took Friday out of combat. Kate covers her friends so they can escape, and she is left with one special arrow as a reminder of her former mentor, which she will save for a special occasion. We learn that the girls live in the house of the late Eleanor Bishop, Kate's mother. Thanks to the lady's paranoia, the girls have a solar-powered safe house, which is absolutely freaking awesome in a zombie apocalypse. It turns out that the little metallic thing they found in the Quinjet is an intergalactic transmitter with impressive coverage. The thing is small now, but it seems it wasn't created at this scale. The transmitter was shrunk and was part of something called Project Lifeshot, a last-ditch effort by S.H.I.E.L.D. to save humanity from the zombie virus. Riri has hacked the S.H.I.E.L.D. network, and it seems the only operational base left is in Ohio. Kate and Kamala say it's worth the risk to take this transmitter device there as they might be able to save humanity. Riri is not optimistic at all, but she is finally convinced. Next to the crashed Quinjet, we see Okoye, who is now the general of the zombie army. She examines the pilot and now calls for Hawkeye. As a gift from Wanda, she grants the archer cosmic powers, making him her right hand and a less useless character. The girls are traveling in a reinforced vehicle courtesy of Riri and are preparing for a long journey around a mountain when they discover the mountain is no longer there, giving them a shortcut. Who destroyed the mountain? No freaking clue. Kamala says she finally feels at peace. By taking action and stopping hiding, she feels safe and accompanied by this nice storm, whose clouds are getting closer and closer. Wait a minute, clouds don't move that fast. Riri steps on the gas, but this atmospheric disturbance catches up to them anyway and flips their vehicle. The girls run to hide, and now they understand why there was a hole in the mountain. However, this is not a storm, and the more we observe it, the more we realize there are two figures here. It turns out that Icarus, one of the Eternals, is fighting zombie Captain Marvel. The girls must escape because they are surrounded by zombies, but Kate remembers her special emergency arrow, so she bets everything on it because in moments like this, the last thing we should lose is hope. Oh no, it was just confetti.
Ah, damn it.
And zombie Captain Marvel disintegrates Kate Bishop. And here everything goes to hell because Riri is bitten and forced to use an experimental serum on herself. Kamala enters a blind rage and tries to avenge her friend, but Zombie Captain is far too powerful. Riri orders Friday to escape with Kamala and take the transmitter device with them. Kamala begs to be allowed to help, but Friday pulls her away from the conflict and tells her to run toward Ohio. The AI returns to help its owner. Kamala runs desperately with the captain hot on her heels, but fortunately Icarus doesn't give up and puts up a good fight. The girl collapses, exhausted, and when all hope seems lost, a mysterious biker arrives to save her. Kamala dreams of her friends, who point to the transmitter device, and now we see the wicked zombie Scarlet Witch standing right behind her.
Ooh, scary.
Kamala wakes up and we learn that her savior is none other than Blade, the vampire who also possesses the powers of Khonshu, the Egyptian moon god. The place where they were is called the Valley of the Broken Gods. It's named that because Captain Marvel and Icarus reside there, fighting eternally without a winner, as both are equally powerful. Khonshu sent Blade for Kamala because he knows how important the transmitter device is, so he will take her to Ohio. Blade explains the original Moon Knight died in the zombie plague, so Khonshu now acts through him. The vampire leads Kamala to the S.H.I.E.L.D. base, which incidentally is surrounded by zombies. But no worries, these are just camouflage used by Yelena, Melina, and Alexei. Melina can control the undead using a neurological agent. Kamala tells them she brought humanity's last hope, but it can only be activated on a S.H.I.E.L.D. system. Upon examining the transmitter, Melina explains that it was made to contact the Nova Corps, an interplanetary authority that theoretically could have saved Earth from the plague. Unfortunately, after the battle in Wakanda, incoming and outgoing signals were blocked all over the planet. They could only use the transmitter from space. But enough with the context because the zombie horde has found them. Blade calls Okoye and Hawkeye scions, meaning heirs. Extensions of Wanda Maximoff, the Queen of the Undead. But the only thing Alexei cares about is that he will finally get to face Captain America, so he prepares his squad of Black Widows, gives an inspiring speech, and then detonates explosives on the battlefield, blowing all that dead flesh to smithereens. But Abomination grabs Cap and throws him like a ball, and just like him, many zombies burst through the ceiling. Alexei says his destiny has finally arrived and he was expecting a glorious fight with Cap, but Rogers is fast, seeing as he's only half a body. The surprised bearded Soviet gets hit in the groin and almost bitten, but he finally tackles Cap and crushes him. Ew. Alexei says songs will be sung about his glorious battle, but Melina tells him that's not true. Abomination breaks through the trenches, as does Ghost, who takes out almost all of the Black Widows. The time has come to escape, but Melina stays behind, entrusting Alexei with protecting Kamala. She locks herself in with the undead and activates her neurological agent, turning them to her side, but Okoye explains that the Queen's power is superior and she regains control of the zombies and now impales the brave Melina. Ghost catches up to the crew and she's a great danger, but Blade goes into assassin mode and fights the intangible killer epically, and he's so fast that he defeats her and incidentally fillets her into premium cuts into quality. Outside the shield base, Yelena mourns the loss of her mother. To honor her, they must get the transmitter to space, and thanks to Khonshu, Blade knows where to find a ship. Now we see how the zombie plague broke out in San Francisco. Shang-Chi and his friend Katie were running amidst the chaos. There were animals, humans, and giant zombies. Let's remember that this virus reached Earth through Hank Pym, courtesy of the Quantum Realm. They teamed up with Detective Wu, and when all seemed lost, the Mandarin arrived to rescue his son. This guy already knew how to combat zombies and eliminate them efficiently. He only came for his son, but Shang-Chi wanted to help other people, and because of his good heart, he got bit.
You goddamn stupid fool!
Seeing that his boy was infected, the Mandarin gave him the 10 rings in order to save him. Before dying, the old man asks him to remember what his mother taught him, and he is then devoured. Now, accompanied by Death Dealer, Shang-Chi and his friends manage to escape. 5 years later, the crew lives in a Mad Max-style society, transporting cattle and facing off against Skrull Gang members, taking them out with great style. Especially Death Dealer, goddamn. Shang-Chi uses only 5 rings and he gives the other 5 to his friend Katie. It turns out that all these cows are a tribute because our friends want asylum. At this pier, they meet Kamala and company. Alexei, upon seeing Shang-Chi's zombified arm, goes into alert mode. They also came here to apply to live in Baron Zemo's city. This gentleman says he doesn't like heroes, nor the secrets they hide under their masks. However, Shang-Chi brings meat and would be a powerful ally, so Zemo accepts them. By the way, Walker, the one-time Captain America, works for Zemo. As for his city, it's not a city as such, but a massive floating prison. Still, they call it the City in the Sea. The kids can finally sleep on a mattress after a very long time. Zemo gives a speech to his refugees asking for a minute of silence for those who couldn't make it here. In the sanctuary, everyone can live a utopian life as long as they promise to be quiet and respect their neighbor's peace. And we see Alexei is living the dream as there's no limits on rations, and Wu is having fun with his magic tricks, and Yelena flirts with Shang-Chi. And Kamala tells everyone about the transmitter device. While the city heads for the depths of the sea, Kamala and company will travel to New Asgard in order to get a ship that can take them into space. Shang-Chi and Katie think this is crazy and, of course, a suicide mission. On the seabed, we see that the Talokan race has been consumed by the zombie plague, and upon seeing the floating city, they try to penetrate its hull. However, Zemo says this prison can withstand it as it was designed to contain the most powerful beings. At the pier, Okoye says that humans think they are safe, but nobody is. And we see that in the deepest part of the ocean, Emperor Namor has also been turned into a zombie.
Oh, sweet Jesus, no!
Kamala has another dream. She can see a huge being, and behind her once again is Wanda. Blade tells her she has the attention of the Queen of the Dead. But there is no time to ponder because Kamala and company are locked in their cell since, to protect his city, Zemo gives Namor a snack. This time, it was the heroes. Shang-Chi and his friends disagree and try to escape, but these cells are very resilient. Kamala activates her powers to protect herself, which causes Namor to smash them against the submarine, and now he stands before Zemo and all the refugees. Zemo locks him in a cell designed for Hulk, while everyone else confronts the remaining Talokanil. Zemo orders everyone to evacuate and Namor escapes, and the heroes try to stop him, but this being is too powerful and viscerally eliminates the secondary characters. And look, he split Walker in half. Oh, Zemo tells Yelena that the escape pods must be activated manually. Kamala notices that Namor is interested in the transmitter, so she distracts him by moving it, and this allows Shang-Chi and Katie to restrain him. The zombie bites our young hero's arm, but she makes it as hard and resilient as she can, and just as it's about to break, Kamala expands it, epically exploding Namor's head.
Badass.
Finally, everyone is safe inside an escape pod. The problem is that Yelena is on the other side of the station and won't be able to join them. She says goodbye to her father, and Alexei implores her to try to save the world together. However, the young Black Widow has accepted her fate. Shang-Chi and Katie understand how important Kamala's mission is, and when Zemo asks where to head, Shang-Chi says they are going to New Asgard. 5 years ago, Spider-Man, T'Challa, and Scott Lang traveled to Wakanda to use the Mind Stone and cure all the zombies. Unfortunately, the entire country had already been devastated by the plague, and Thanos, wielding 5 Infinity Stones, was waiting for them. However, the Titan couldn't properly use his powers as the infection had made his brain very primitive. Spider-Man was more than enough to restrain him, but T'Challa realized that zombie Thanos, though slowly, was learning to use the stones. The heroes were surrounded and close to a cannibalistic death when suddenly Thor arrived, accompanied by Groot and Rocket. Seeking to avenge his brother Loki, the God of Thunder launched Stormbreaker with all his might, though as usual he didn't aim for the head.
Fuck!
With the Power Stone, Thanos defeated the reinforcements and we can see Rocket being disintegrated. T'Challa fought using the Mind Stone, but even with his brain addled by the zombie infection, Thanos finally understood that he needed all the stones, and he took the Mind Stone, achieving omnipotence. T'Challa whispered Wakanda forever, launched himself at the Mad Titan, pushing him into a huge vibranium reactor, finishing off Thanos and dying for humanity.
I am not ready to be without you.
The vibranium combined with the power of the Infinity Stones caused a rift in reality. Peter and Scott were about to die, but they were rescued by the sorcerers of Kamar-Taj. The Wise Ones have tracked down Wanda Maximoff, and although they ask Spidey to prepare for a fight, he says they won't have to face the Queen alone. Zemo, Kamala, Shang-Chi, and everyone else finally reach solid ground. They are happy to have survived, but Alexei feels he no longer has any reason to go on. However, Kamala reminds him that one honors those who are gone with every breath. Alexei says he will help her get her spaceship so that the deaths of Melina and Yelena were not in vain. The heroes find that they are not allowed into New Asgard, but after Khonshu reveals himself to Valkyrie, everyone is welcomed in. Inside this fortress, the Asgardians celebrate, eat, and drink, while Thor remains seated, downcast, and silent. Kamala says she needs to talk to him, tell him about the transmitter that can save the world, but Valkyrie explains that Thor no longer speaks to anyone. He no longer feeds his people. In fact, this entire feast came courtesy of the Queen of Sokovia, Wanda Maximoff. The heroes know she is evil and they are ready to fight, but Wanda tells them there's been a misunderstanding. She explains that she was infected once, yes, but she learned to control reality with her powers and was able to heal herself. She could have healed the world too, but that energy was denied to her. The explosion of the Infinity Stones in Wakanda released infinite energy, which Wanda could have used to end the plague, but someone stole that energy. That muscular man who appeared in Kamala's dream, he is too powerful. Wanda needs an army, which is why she brought this feast, which we see is making the Asgardians sick, and that's because it's actually zombie meat. Wanda tells Kamala she doesn't want the transmitter, she wants her. The Asgardians turn into zombies, and Alexei is also infected because he ate too many dead fingers. Zemo says he regrets having met them and dies brutally. Valkyrie fights bravely, yelling at Thor to snap out of it, but he would have been devoured if it weren't for Kamala. The heroes are powerful, but these are Asgardian warriors, and Death Dealer is massacred, and Wu gets distracted trying to save him and is also torn to shreds. Valkyrie will take the kids to the ship, but she doesn't want to leave Thor. Unfortunately, the God of Thunder is a mere shadow of his former self. When they finally reach the ship, Alexei succumbs to the infection and tries to eat Kamala. With tears in her eyes, she promises to honor him and uses her powers to repel all the zombies. Valkyrie starts the ship and takes off, but Wanda stops them using her powers. The Queen of the Dead tells Kamala that her salvation doesn't lie in the stars, but here. Wanda begs her to listen, liar! But Thor arrives to the rescue, and he is so powerful that he confronts the zombie Scarlet Witch, Queen of the Dead. Oh, that name is too long. Thor fries Wanda and tells the kids to escape. Kamala asks him to come with them as he's the last Avenger. Thor replies that now she will be the last Avenger. Valkyrie obeys her king, and they escape while the most epic cosmic confrontation erupts. The ship finally reaches space, and Valkyrie plugs the transmitter into her ship, and the moment to contact the Nova Corps has arrived. The whole team smiles hopefully as all their pain and sacrifices have paid off. Kamala presses the button and... oh, that was fast! The Nova Corps are here, but Valkyrie says a signal that distance should take weeks to arrive. Something is wrong. The Nova Corps contact the ship and order them to return to their world. Earth has been declared a doomed planet. What? All this time, the Nova Corps knew, and instead of helping, they left the planet under quarantine. The Nova Corps open fire on the Asgardian ship, and although Kamala saves her friends from the explosion, they are now all free-falling, and yet one by one they all disappear into portals. The crew meets Spidey and the head of Scott Lang. The sorcerers of Kamar-Taj tell us what happened. After T'Challa's brave sacrifice, a hurricane of infinite energy was unleashed, sweeping across Africa and Europe, devastating everything in its path. The world needed a being so powerful that it could withstand the energy of the Infinity Stones. That being was Bruce Banner, who offered his life to save the world. Upon coming into contact with the infinite energy, Bruce Banner transcended his humanity and became an anchor being of the universe. This is Cosmic Hulk, the mysterious man from Kamala's dreams. Wanda, now with the Asgardians on her side, has an army powerful enough to defeat the Hulk and take the cosmic energy for herself. So what's coming next is the final battle. This will take place in what remains of Paris. The sorcerers want the heroes to join them, but know how much they have lost, so they will give them time to think about it. Kamala remembers her friends and everyone who died to save humanity. She tells Shang-Chi that everything was in vain, and maybe by going to Paris, she's doing exactly what the witch wants. Shang-Chi tells her that might be true, but they cannot lose hope. She gave everyone a reason not to give up, and she even motivated Thor to fight one last time, and he named her an Avenger before dying. Kamala embraces Shang-Chi and prepares to fight alongside her friends. Cosmic Hulk faces the army of the undead. Okoye sends entire legions to devour the Emerald Giant, but with just a swing of his fist, he defeats hundreds of them. This being seems untouchable. However, Wanda throws the entire floating prison at him, and out of it come the Talokanil, who scratch Cosmic Hulk's skin. Then giants arrive to crush him, but this cosmic being wipes out each and every one of his adversaries. Wanda now sends the Asgardians, who finally manage to tire Hulk out. The witch approaches him and says she has come to free him from such a heavy burden. But the villain is struck by some rings, and that's because the cavalry is here. The last defenders of Earth stand before the undead threat, and their objective is to protect Cosmic Hulk. The team takes out hundreds of zombies in very cinematic and utterly badass ways, and look at the Minotaur Man, and look at Spidey when he doesn't hold back his strength. Hulk's wounds begin to heal, and the good guys gain ground. Wanda sends in the Pym couple, but Valkyrie flies into Janet and gives her a death worthy of the Vikings, and Spidey stuns Hank and passes him to Scott, and Blade slices him in two. But Wanda gets inside Kamala's mind. She insists she is trying to save everyone. Kamala doesn't believe her, so the witch sends her dead friends to torture her. Shang-Chi and Katie are also forced to fight against their fallen comrades, and poor Scott and Pete have to face off against Hope. At the same time, the sorcerers of Kamar-Taj are brutally fried, and red lightning bolts strike the battlefield. It's Thor, the now dead god of thunder.
Holy shit.
He is the one who will face Cosmic Hulk, and he won't allow anyone to intervene. Blade tries to help, but effortlessly, Thor disintegrates him. Although Thor is the god of thunder, Hulk has assimilated the Infinity Stones, so his power is greater, and after a brief battle, Blondie ends up with his head completely crushed. However, in a split second, Wanda takes advantage of Cosmic Hulk's carelessness and gets close enough to steal the infinite power from him. Kamala tries to save him, but Wanda tells her it was her destiny to be here. Her friends are being devoured or horribly killed. If they work together, they can stop all this pain. Kamala says that helping her would mean betraying the memory of those who died, but Wanda repeats over and over they will put an end to the suffering. Kamala gives up as she cannot allow so many sacrifices to be in vain. She takes Wanda's hand, who says, "The world will start anew." A wave of infinite energy covers the earth, shattering reality itself. Kamala wakes up in her house, and it seems like everything was a dream. She sees Kate and Riri again and enjoys a boba tea with the girls. Everything seems perfect for a moment, but Kamala notices for a split second how everything changes to a post-apocalyptic universe. Riri speaks to her and says she has hacked the signal. She shouldn't believe what her eyes see, for it's not real. The connection is lost, and our protagonist knows she is under an illusion created by Wanda. The end. If you liked the video, don't forget to comment on what other horror series or movie you'd like to see on the channel. As always, remember that you help me out a lot by liking this video, sharing it, subscribing, and of course, hitting that notification bell.